Let's talk about Courtney Love and Guitar Hero 5.
Let's talk about Courtney Love.
Let's talk about Courtney Love.
Hey, that Doll Parts video, Courtney Love was pretty hot.
There was a point, there was a moment, although that other girl in Hole was way hotter.
Oh, yeah.
Melissa
Aftermar.
Something, yeah.
Man.
The redhead, as I know her.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude.
That was a sexy lady.
Way hotter.
That was a sexy lady.
Did she play bass?
Yeah.
Appropriately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course you did.
Hot lady bass players.
Yeah.
Man.
That's my game. Hot lady bass
it
player.
new
Hot
Your
lady
game?
bass players
Tell us
with
about
swords
pitch-
for bass guitars. That's
There you
that's
go.
my game.
That's it. Like kind of like Oni Chambara.
It's a plus 10 to boners. So, Jeff, you were of the
Well,
story.
plus 5.5.
Boom. This podcast is over. So one of the big complaints, it seems kind of across the board, that has been lodged against
Courtney Love.
Guitar Hero 5, by myself included, is the use of Kurt Cobain's likeness in that game. It's not great. It's not great.
Exploitative.
Exploitative, some might say.
There's no reverence to it.
Yeah, it's a little disrespectful.
Yeah, indeed. And apparently, I guess, Courtney Love agrees with this
Yeah.
on Twitter?
Sure. So,
God, that was the best headline I have ever seen, ever.
dude,
You want me to read the
smugly
Twitter?
boasting of rape.
I'm going to try and read the Twitter. I don't know that this necessarily translates from text into text-to-speech.
Read it
probably
as
does
Courtney
as well.
Love.
Just try to pronounce everything phonetically and you should get the point
He
across.
says, now they're just liquidating Kurt, and I'm the devil? I have nothing to do with Guitar Hero. I loathe it and find it odious. Kurt would have too.
So, except for the part where apparently Activision went on after. So she exploded all over Twitter. I assumed someone showed her that video, and then she just fucking went bananas. Which Courtney Love's been going crazy online for years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've ever read her blog on MySpace. I don't know if
have.
that stuff is still up, but Christ, oh my God. And when people get on her about spelling, it's just, I think her response is typically like, I'm too busy to spell good. I know how to do it. I'm smart. Leave me alone.
She's kind of an OG at being crazy on the internet.
Yeah.
She's been at it for a
definitely.
while.
She's been at it for a pretty long time. She was probably crazy on Friendster.
Taking it back.
That's right. There was just basically like a 14-hour period where most of her messages were about Guitar Hero 5 and how it was horrible, and then also about lunchboxes with Kurt Cobain on them, because apparently she was really pissed off about that too. At one point she said that the Foo Fighters are a lot like Creed or Nickelback. People think they're cool, but they're no one's favorite band. Just throw that in there.
That seems harsh and not true.
And not true. Yeah. I'd say the Foo Fighters are several leagues above Creed and Nickelback.
They're not my favorite band, but
Yeah,
there are some good Foo Fighter songs.
You probably
there are no good Nickelback songs.
you probably know some people who would call the Foo Fighters their favorite band.
No, I don't think I would.
Nobody?
She might actually be right.
I
But
don't know, a couple years ago, maybe.
You know what? There's probably some Canadians that really like Foo Fighters.
you're probably right. Some Canadians probably really like Nickelback.
Well, they are Canadian.
They are Canadian.
I don't think Creed's Canadian.
Creed's
They're
from,
honorary
like,
Canadian.
Creed is from, like,
Canada
Florida, I
can
think.
have Creed.
have
Creed's
Florida,
from Florida?
too.
Perfect.
I think.
Man.
Don't quote me on that.
Dude.
I want
of
to see
course.
them and Broken Side touring together. Your all Floridian tour.
I thought Broken Side was from Arizona or something.
Oh, they are. It just seems like they should be from Florida.
Yeah. Ugh. So, Courtney Love went nuts on Twitter for a good 7 to 10 hours, going on and on saying that she's going to sue Activision and, that she didn't sign anything and that people are fraudulently buying property with Kurt Cobain's name on it. Like, she would just drift off into, like, this other stuff that apparently has been getting her down lately. But
really, the best thing that she says is Activision smugly boasting of rape.
What?
Yeah.
Which with no real context. The context is fucking mega fraud, and you've got to show for it. Kurt lunchboxes, Converse sneakers, and Activision smugly boasting of rape.
It's like
And that's me like patching together this Twitter as best I can.
It's like a Courtney Love like Twitter generator. Just like it's like hit,
right.
Somebody's gonna make a soundboard.
Yeah,
out of this.
or just like hit submit and it just spits back something. It's like okay, it's like a Babelfish translation.
And then whenever anyone complains of her doing it for money, she like goes on a rampage about how she doesn't have any money.
And send me some.
Not quite that far. She just wants video cards. So Activision responded to this by basically saying that they have, in writing, from Courtney Love, the rights to use Kurt Cobain's likeness in the game. So I don't... Yeah, so in the wake of Courtney Love doing this, Activision responded that way, and then... Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic came out and said, like,
we can't do anything about this.
We can't do anything about this, but we don't think it's very cool, and we think that the Cobain Avatar should be limited to those Nirvana songs.
Oh, you mean like something like Coherent and like
Right. Something like appropriate.
right?
Which I think is pretty much what everyone kind of backs in this case, is that maybe that would make more sense. Though at this point, like just seeing how inept this whole process is, and that the people that whoever owns the rights to Kurt's likeness, whether it's Courtney Love or some trust company or whoever it ends up being, I mean, Activision says that they have in writing from Courtney Love the rights to do what they will with Kurt Cobain in the context that they have used him. So fuck her is where I'm coming from at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Like, even if the point that she's making of this is bad is salient.
Yeah, it's like to make it and try and save face if she in fact did this.
She allowed it to happen.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
no. I have no sympathy for anyone in this situation anymore, except for possibly Activision.
Whether she allowed it proactively, in like she was the rights holder and she negotiated with Activision and she signed on the fucking dotted line.
She says that she saw an Avatar and requested to see another one, which she intended to just be dragging her feet, and that she had no intention of ever approving it.
But then it got approved.
Again, Activision says they have in writing. In writing.
Whether it's proactive or just ineptitude on her behalf for that this happened, it's still
right. Exactly. So it's
on her.
Pretty much disgusting at every turn.
Yep.
That this got to this point, and that, I mean, to me it looks like she saw that video. A bunch of people started giving her shit about that video, so she said, "Wasn't me." And then Activision said, "Oh, but it totally was."
Dodged the ownership.
See, at least now I can feel like this is something Kurt can get behind, like this kind of drama, and just be like, "Oh, yeah, man, it sucks. It's all terrible. The world is shit."
To me, like, the worst part about this entire process is people saying whether or not Kurt would have been into this. Like, that's the part, and it bugged me about the Beatles too. There's like a statement from Yoko Ono saying like George would have really loved this.
Yeah,
like,
that stuff was like,
it's like I don't know that I agree with you in both cases. Who knows at this point? If Kurt Cobain was alive today, this far after that style of music had been around, who knows?
Who knows what Kurt Cobain in 2009 is like? Who knows what John Lennon in 2009 is like? Like,
exactly.
They had a thing at a point in time. But so did all those other dudes, and they've kind of moved on.
And you get the impression that both of those guys specifically stood for some specific ideals.
Certainly.
But those ideals have been magnified so many times over, and those guys are just martyred out so heavily.
Yeah.
That who's to say?
Johnny Cash did that thing with 9 Inch Nails, right? Then he recorded, so like,
well, he did several albums of covers, and that was one of the songs.
Yeah,
he did.
There you go. I mean, he covered 9 Inch Nails. Who knows?
He covered all sorts of shit, though.
He might have covered that Public Enemy song at some point if he was alive today.
It's true. Kurt Cobain's just doing what Kurt Cobain would have wanted to do.
Much different if he had.
I'm just saying, like, that there would have been a super group with the dude from Muse, Shirley Manson, Kurt Cobain, and Johnny Cash. That would have happened. Guitar Hero 5 is the most accurate. The game is practically a time machine.
I don't know if you've played Darkest of Days. Guitar Hero
Silent
5.
protagonist. Yeah, so, at this point, good luck, Activision. Maybe you should do the right thing, and maybe the right thing is to keep Kurt Cobain from appearing on non-Nirvana songs, but at this point,
like,
I say you just throw up some middle fingers and say, "Yo, she signed this shit. Fuck her.
I want to see
this.
I want to see the end credits of that game. She's got to have a thank you in there somewhere. Like,
Not anymore. That's been patched out.
They should just put her in. Like, you also signed this.
Well, I mean, she has had. I mean, Hole was in Rock Band.
She has been involved in this stuff in the past.
Not likeness-wise, obviously, and obviously Hole is not Nirvana. But, she's made similar deals in the past.
Well, rock and roll, huh?
I guess so. Speaking of rock